In this video, we're going to look at derivative of algebraic function. Now, that's differentiation. Now, differentiation of a function in calculus is the rate of change of a quantity with respect to another. The general format or formula for differentiation is if I have a being a coefficient of x raised to the power n, for me to differentiate this with respect to x is equal to this times this, which is n a x, then n minus 1. This is the general formula or format for differentiation. Let's take, for example, differentiate 1 over x. Let's say 1 over x with respect to x. For us to do this with respect to x, it is the same thing as saying, according to laws of indices, it is x raised to power minus 1. This and this are the same. So for me to differentiate this, I will have that d of the x into 1 minus 1 times 1. 1 is here. Minus 1 times 1 will give me minus 1. That's minus x. Minus 1 minus 1 gives me minus 2. So the answer is minus x raised to power minus 2. What if I am asked to get the derivative of 1 over x squared? This is the same thing as saying x raised to power minus 2. So for me to differentiate it with respect to x, it becomes minus 2 times 1, which is minus 2x raised to power minus 2 minus 1 gives me minus 3. So this is the answer. If I'm asked to find the derivative of, let's say, 3x squared plus 2, for me to differentiate this with respect to x, I will have 2 times 3 is 6x. 2 minus 1 is 1. Plus 2 now. For me to differentiate this, whenever I differentiate a constant, I will get 0. So this is the answer. Anytime you differentiate a constant because it does not have x, we are differentiating with respect to x. If I'm asked to find the derivative of root x, according to laws of indices, this is the same thing as saying x raised to power minus x raised to power 1 over 2. So for me to differentiate with respect to x is 1 over 2 times 1 will give me 1 over 2x. Then up here, I will have 1 over 2 minus 1. For me to resolve only here, 1 over 2 minus 1. 1 is the same thing as over 1. I'll find the common denominator, which is 2. 2 into 2 is 1. 1 times 1 is 1. 1 into 2 is 2. 2 times 1 is 2. So I will have 1 minus 2 is minus 1 over 2. So what will be here is 1 over 2x raised to power minus 1 over 2. So this is the answer. If you don't want to leave your answer like this, you can still say resolve this. You have 1 over 2. This can be square root of x. So because raised to power half according to laws of indices means square root. So you can leave it like this as well. They are the same. Okay, let's look at this. Find the y dx of x raised to power minus 1 over 4. You can pause the video and try this. Now for us to solve this, you have negative 1 over 4 times 1 that is here will give you negative 1 over 4 x. Negative 1 over 4 minus 1. According to how we still resolved here, you can still do that. And when you do that, you get negative 5 over 4. So let me still do it. Let me show. Negative 1 over 4 minus 1. Here is the same thing as over 1. The common denominator, the LCM, is 4. 4 divide 4 is 1. 1 times negative 1 gives you negative 1. This minus, will bring it here. 1 into 4 will give you 4. 4 times 1 will give you 4. So minus 1 minus 4 gives you minus 5 over 4. That's how we arrived here. Okay, so that is the answer. We have laws in differentiation. The first one is the law of sum or differences. Law of sum or differences. And how we state it is, if we have that d, the x of u plus v, okay, let me start with u. Either way, you can start with either u or v. U plus v, these are terms. For us to differentiate it, the law says that I will differentiate u with respect to x plus differentiate v with respect to x. That's what the law states. The second one is the product rule. If I have that d dx of u dot v, I want to multiply two of them, what it means is that I will first of all keep u constant, differentiate v with respect to x, plus I will keep v constant, differentiate u with respect to x. That's what it says. Another way you can write it, short form, is u v prime, which means differentiate v, plus you put v constant, differentiate u prime. So whenever you see this, you know it means differentiate. So this is another way you can state the product rule. Another rule is the quotient rule. The quotient rule says that I can keep v or u. Okay, since we're using u, let's use u. I can keep u constant, differentiate, okay, v, keep v constant, differentiate u, minus keep u constant, differentiate v over v squared. Now, we're going to do another video where we show some examples on this. But first of all, before we go, let's look at example or sum of rules. The rule of sums. Okay, if I have something like find the derivative of let's say x plus 1 over x. Now I will call this u, call this v. So it means I will have to say, for us to state the law, it means the difference of u plus or minus v. This is sum, okay, for sum v is differentiate u with respect to x plus differentiate v with respect to x. So if I differentiate x, I will get 1 if I differentiate x. That's the u is x. I will get 1 plus 1 over x. If I differentiate 1 over x, now 1 over x, remember 1 over x, for us to differentiate it, 1 over x is the same thing as saying x raised to power minus 1. So minus 1 times 1 gives you minus x. Minus 1 gives you minus 2. So here what we have is minus x raised to power minus 2. So 1 minus and plus gives you minus x raised to power minus 2. So this is the answer for that. Let's do one more before we go. If we say differentiate, let's say sine x minus cos x. This is the difference rule. We're going to use difference rule because minus is there. Difference rule. And difference rule says that I will have to differentiate with respect to x u minus differentiate with respect to x v. That's what it says. So which means I'm going to differentiate with respect to x sine x minus, I will also differentiate with respect to x cos x. That's what it says. If I differentiate sine x, I will get cos x minus, if I differentiate cos x, I will get negative sine x. Negative negative gives me positive, so the answer becomes cos x plus sine x. That is the answer. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please try subscribe. Click the subscribe button. Thank you.